through your analysis. Yeah, that's what your analysis is about. It is to prove. It's like telling somebody, there's a room there, and in that room there are 10 people there. You have said that, and I will show you that there are 10 people. So this is the part we are going to walk to that room. You go through it, you open the door, you show them, we are counting, and then we looked around to be sure there are no other people. That is what you are trying to do.
Hello.
Yeah, so think through.
Okay. Oh, good to have you. Thank you. Yeah. It's a beautiful afternoon today. Good, beautiful evening, beautiful morning, wherever you're joining from. Okay. I'm trying to get hold of this and invite other people. Hello, sorry about that, it went blank. Okay. Hello, my name is Adedamola Olubummo, and I'm so excited and happy to be here today. It's Friday, the 8th of April 2022, and it's a beautiful thing to be here again. Okay, please give me a moment. Someone is asking me some question.
Stop here. That paragraph that ends in peace. Start from here, the point, right?
Yeah. Thank you everyone who has joined this live program. It's actually the first time we're having this on Instagram, so I think some people are having some kind of issues to join. Once again, my name is Adedamola Olubummo, and it's a very, very beautiful thing to be here today. It's the 6th edition of Between You and Me, and but this is the first time we're having it on Instagram. So kindly give me a moment. I like playing this song Yomiyo by Tenny Ola while we're waiting for other people to join in a minute. And thank you, Barrister K, for joining. Thank you, Adedamola Olubummo. That's my special guest of honor. Okay, let's listen to Tenny Ola at Yomiyo while we wait for other viewers to join.
What will happen in that paragraph is to explain
Yes, everybody is gonna win. The only thing you need to do is to believe that you can do it. The only thing you need to do is to believe in yourself that you can do it. There's nothing you cannot do as long as you believe. Nothing is too small. Nothing is too big. And that's the reason we are here today. What your eyes have seen, what your ears have heard. Come and share with us so that we can also learn from you. Thank you so much, Tenny. All right, keep on pushing on. Yeah, thank you everyone for being here with me, staying on this live session. Thank you, Tommy Singh, for joining. Thank you, Slick Sweet Card, for joining. I see you joining from Winnipeg, and it's a good thing to have you all. Like I said, that this is the 6th edition of Between You and Me, but this is the first time we're having it on Instagram. Like we've always had it on Facebook. The five previous editions have been on Facebook, but we think that let the people on Instagram also enjoy what we've been doing on Facebook. Let them enjoy from this wealth and well of wisdom from our wonderful guests. Thank you everyone for joining again. Like I mentioned, that this is the 6th edition, and the purpose for this program, for this conversation, is for people to share their story. Everyone has a remarkable story. Whether you want to accept it or not, there's something remarkable about your story that needs to be heard, that someone else needs to know about to live a better life. And sharing your story doesn't make you vulnerable. It doesn't make you weak. It's just a sign of strength and your own contribution to humanity. So when you share your story, know that you are getting more strength to face issues. You are being more resilient, because you can't come this far to share your story and then give up. It gives you a strength, an inner strength to push on and to be more of who you are. Another thing it does to people is that it helps people who are in that same situation to get better. Sometimes when you share your story, somebody just hears a word and they get a spark of idea of what needs to be done, what needs to be done in their own situation, or they just have a light is shown on them to captivate their own situation, and things begin to work out. So that is the mission we have here, that everyone can be a superhero. You can be a superman, you can be a superwoman in that your own life, in that your story. Just listen to someone who has been in that situation and things begin to work well for you. Thank you again. Kindly invite your friends, invite your neighbors, invite your lovers, invite your sisters, brothers, everyone that you care about to join this live session. Okay, my guest today is going to be Adedamola Olubummo. He's not just Adedamola Olubummo. He's a very wonderful personality that I'm so privileged to have, and I want to say thank you again for the access and acceptance to be here today. Okay. Well, I'm trying to make him join this session. Okay. Hello. I'm not sure if you can send a request so that I can bring you on the session, please. Okay, while we wait for Adedamola to send a request, I was talking about the mission for Between You, which are Between You and Me set out to achieve, which is to make everyone believe that, acknowledge, accept, know that you can be a superhero in your own life. You can have an idea of what to do in your own life just by listening to other people who have been in that situation. And on this program, we've had people who have traveled in various places in the world, and they come to share their experience, how they were able to relate with other people in the places that places like Asia, like Europe, like North America, to how they were able to eventually come out and be who they are today. We've had people who have told us stories about their doctoral research while in another land from their homeland. We've had someone who in their 40s is still not married, and there's nothing really big about it. She's doing well for herself. She's told her story, and a lot of people have learned that like everything does not depend on marriage. The first thing you need to do is know yourself, be complete in yourself before you're talking about being complete in marriage. Okay, I think he's here. Thank you. Yeah.
Only the drum of like
our guest while he comes in. Okay. We're waiting. Here he comes. Yeah. Stop clapping, I keep on clapping.
Hello, it's okay.
Thank you so much for being here. It's a good thing to have you here.
I appreciate you. Thank you very much for having me here.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me
I
here.
appreciate you more for the acceptance.
Great. How are you doing?
I'm
Oh,
fine.
that's good.
Did I even mention where I am? It's 12 minutes past 1 here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. So I know that on your end it's been past 7. How has been your day?
We are good. It's a Friday. It's a work day. It's been a busy day, but here we are. It's part of what makes the day busy. So we're here again.
Yeah.
So I'm in Lagos, Nigeria, Ikeja precisely. So and the weather is cool out here.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, I think I gave them rain yesterday, being my birthday, or 2 days ago, sorry.
Yes.
Being my birthday. So I gave them rain in Lagos.
So you're saying that you are the one that brought 20 people.
Oh yes, I gave them rain. So they were all sapped. They were all sapped with the rain as part of my celebration on my birthday.
It's a good thing. That's a sign for good and wonderful things to come, right?
Absolutely.
So I wish you the best of the year and every thing that your heart desires come to fulfillment.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So let's quickly kick off the program so that I know that there's a lot to say and I don't keep people waiting. Okay, let me quickly acknowledge people in the comments. Tommy Singh, okay, joined. Born Royal Singh, thank you for joining us. It's a good thing to have you here. Olumuyiwa Shintoki, I'm so grateful to have you here. I appreciate you. Sida Royal, underscore tweets. Okay, you sent the request. However, thank you for being here today. And every other person that I may have missed, I want to say thank you for staying here with us. Okay, let's kick off on this note. Now we see that a lot of people, they talk themselves down, they devalue themselves, all because of their mindset and things that they have been through. And I want to ask you that, being someone who has been in human resources, you've been in personal management, stuff like that, what do you think that kind of mindset, what impact does it have in the employment section?
Okay. Well, largely people's perspective of themselves, it's something that has a lot to do with how they show up anywhere, any day, at any particular point in time. So I'll make this statement that perception is reality. Perception is reality.
Wow.
How people perceive you is how they will relate with you. So perception is reality. How you present yourself determines how people will value you. So you show up only when it's important and to people who are important to you. You don't show up to everybody. You don't just give your time, your everything to people. Now, related to job, to going for interviews, to going to workplace, to first, I would say the way you are in this part of the world.
Yes.
I'm trying to see which, because in Africa there is something that it will put largely on who we perceive you to be. So, which is a function of how you present yourself.
Yeah.
It's a function of who you stand to be. So, a lot of times we put so much attention to what is outward, quite all right. But so, reality, I'll see the outward before I see the inward. Okay? So, so I don't just wake up and I say, oh, the inward of that person is very good inside. There has to be what we see. And that's where that statement, perception is reality, means a lot to me all the time. So when you're going to any place, show up the best. Show up the best way to be at that place at that point in time. You go for interviews, be there with the best. You doing a talk or presenting at anywhere, be there at the best. Do the best at every point in time, because perception is reality.
Well,
how we perceive you is how we
relate with you. That's a big one. Perception is reality. So at every point of your life, make sure you are at your best, because every first impression, every impression goes a long way, which you yourself cannot tell. Okay, I want to say thank you, Adedamola Olubummo, for joining this session. I appreciate you so much. Okay, and that question leads to my next question, where we can say that now you are being at your best, you are doing everything that is required of you, but the people around you are not seeing these things, or maybe they are seeing it, they just feel like they are not encouraging you to get the best of yourself. But you yourself, you know that, okay, this is who I am, this is what I'm set out to do, these are the things that I know I can do. But the people around you, not just people around you, one would say that yes, you should move away from those people, but in this case where they're even family members, that it's very difficult to move away from them, what does one do in that kind of situation?
Okay, I'll tell you what, there are times you may not be able to change location, change environment immediately, as it were, but one thing is for sure. I say this to a lot of people jokingly, but in reality, that's what it is. There is a time of each person's hiding. That is, you are hiding for a time of your showing forth. Now, how do I mean? At such a time in which you are going through certain circumstance, you are being put down, you are being knocked down, you are being made to do things or act in a way that is demeaning sometimes to you. It's a proof of character. There's a character building in you at that point in time. That is what you are building over space of time that will make you be different when you have the opportunity to be someone that will be in front, for example. You would have learned how not to treat other people. You would have learned how not to mess other people up.
You know why I'm really laughing? Because I'm going to that point. Being a leadership coach and personal development coach, I already have that in mind to ask you, but it's like you're getting a lot further than I have.
Well, but in reality, okay, I'll give a very interesting scenario about myself growing up. I think I've only said this in a couple of places. Okay, I grew up in an environment where, okay, my mom woke up one day at 14-year-old and told me to your face, son, and with my other siblings, okay, and just said, you know what, your dad is going to become the Oba of your town, the king of your town, of the place where you're from. Hear this, which means everything that he owns does not belong to only you anymore.
It's a village state now.
Now, it belongs to everybody. One. And two, he is going to be African setting, African mindset, is going to have to marry a second wife by their, so, which means there are going to be other children that are going to be. So what does that leave you? It leaves you to come to a point where it means you don't own this man. You don't own what he owns. You don't own anything. And so as such, you got to just wake up and become matured from there.
Okay.
And it can fling the other way as well. It can be either this way or that way. And the way it could fling out is you could just be lost there and say, my life, I'm done for and all that. But so, which means everything you do may not be right at that point in time anymore. So what does that mean? At every point in time, there are actions that you put up that you are shut down. There are attitudes that you portray that you are shut down. Because
okay, let me come in then. Sorry. Now that you're talking about actions that you put up that you shut down and or the ones that you are encouraged about, let me ask you, it's that a way that decision making and or choices in one's life, how does it impact one's growth or one's journey in life? You're talking about actions now.
Okay, about actions or
actions
about
or choices, the choices one
choices
in life or decision making. How does it impact one's journey in life?
Well, the decision making really frankly, decision making can make us, or choices can make us or mar us in reality. And truthfully, when you come to a realization on time, you may be able to salvage the situation. And truthfully, eventually, anyone that is even listening to me right now and had made a decision or a choice that had not been in the right direction, you can actually retrace your steps by having possibly a mentor or possibly a coach. Those mentor is largely just a guidance in that way. Do this, that way. Or a coach on the other hand. And you see, in this world of today, I've realized that quite a lot of people do not have someone they look up to, or they look up to people on TV. They don't have people they look up to that is close to them. They look out for a mentor that is a TV actor or a song, whatever, and then end up not having a close relationship by which you can actually know the downside and the upsides of that person. So actions can make us, actions can mar us. We should retrace our steps if you have made wrong steps, wrong actions, and go in the right direction. There are some actions that you would have lost years. Okay, you would have lost years. You would have lost years.
Before you realize that you have lost it.
But in all honesty, hope is not lost for anyone that had actually lost or made a mistake in taking an action. There are some of the things that I do today that I wish I had started doing long ago. Now imagine that if I started doing some of those things long ago, I probably have become the billionaire of this world, possibly. But because I did not enter into them on time, in time, because of the actions that I've taken in one direction or the other that were not in tandem with the actions that I'm now taking. So maybe I've been slowed down over time. But like we always console ourselves. Okay, we are here now. So wherever you get to at the point in time, you can still be compensated, well compensated. That's what I'll say.
So you can always start wherever you are, even though
anywhere.
Having said that, so for people who are about to take actions, being a personal development coach, what are the things that you think have to be in place in order to take the right action? You may want to put it in relation to something, in relation with a story or an event, so that it can be easily relatable. Like, what are the things that need to be put in place to take right actions? to make right decisions?
Okay. First, please note this and be very, very deliberate about it. Stay in your grace zone. We are all graced in certain area. And once you know and you're able to identify your graced zone, align yourself there. You are not me. You are not Tolulope. You are not Tomisi. You are not Esther, Mercy. You are not Demola. You are not. You are different from the other person. Your race is different. Your grace is different. You have different lanes. Walk on your lane. Haven't come to realize your grace zone. Now, realizing your grace zone now makes you do deliberate things, which includes deliberately coming to a point where you say, well, I give an example of myself. I studied electrical engineering and graduated as an engineer, and I started work in the IT industry, and I worked in IT for a space of about 12 years. And I got to the peak of, so to say, my career in the organization where I was working, that I was no longer dealing with machines, but I started dealing with human beings. I started relating with people. I started giving instructions, leading people, directing them on what to do and what not, and all that. So I found out that it looked seamless for me. So it came to a point where I realized that it looks like I rather be dealing with human beings than dealing with machines. Okay. So, and actually from that realization, I switched from dealing with machines to dealing with people. And I have found that I am graced in dealing with people. So, and how did I start? I went ahead to ask for an opportunity to be an intern. Okay, to be an intern from being an engineer, an IT support, IT consultant, to coming to a point where I say, I want to be an intern. I want to learn the rudiments of dealing with people management. And from there, I started courses on people management, which is academical, because you know we like academics in this part of the world. They like paper. So, and then you want to defend many of the things to support many of the things you say with specific theories, with specific things that align with them. So from understanding my grace zone, I began to do things in alignment with that grace zone. And that led me to the courses I began to pursue. That led me to the actions I began to take. And that led me to what I am doing even right now as a person. So, which is largely raising leaders for tomorrow. That's what I have committed myself to doing right now. And that's so it was, but it's a function of my story of who I used to be or who I am. So the work of my life led to me creating frameworks of what to lead people through and do in the area of people development, personal development, and leadership coaching, which I currently now run. Okay.
Yeah, thank you for that beautiful one. So one would say that to make decisions, the first thing you have to do is understand yourself, understand where you are great at, so that you would not start comparing yourself with others. Comparing yourself with others will make you make decisions that are not supposed to be made. Okay, so I want to say thank you to Oluwabamisheyi for being on this section. I appreciate you. I want to say Bolaji Muyiwa Victor, you are appreciated. Thank you so much. Yeah, I wave back at everyone that's waving at me. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so we've been talking with Adedamola Olubummo, and he's leadership and personal development coach. Is also into human resources management and other personal management aspects. So I want to say thank you to Sense Harrison. I hope I called that well. Thank you for picking out time to be here today, and I promise that it's going to be worth your while. Okay, so we've had two points now. Now, first thing is perception is reality. And number two now is to make decisions, you have to understand yourself, understand your grace point, be at your own lane so that you would not be comparing yourself and at the end of the day making wrong decisions. Yeah, thank you so much for that. Now I'm going to go back to the very second question that I asked, that when you say that you're even doing good things, you are making effort on yourself, trying to be trying to prosper in your own lane, and the people around you are not supportive, what do you do in that situation? Especially
Okay.
when the families that cannot be run away from.
Well, there are circumstances, particularly in our system or our family circle where we are in. I think I mentioned to someone today that our circle of influence actually has to be changed sometimes, even though we could be boxed in the home. But for example, do you know that before you buy a Ferrari, you write the Ferrari in the mind?
You already imagine yourself how
You
cruise with
in
it.
the mind. So before you build the house, you have it in the mind. So there is what you put in your compartment of your mind that you begin to now bring to reality. So that's where they say vision. Okay, like someone was trying to describe earlier on, maybe it was yesterday or today. He said the reason you have the eyes and the ears and everything in the head is because the head is supposed to be leading, right? Okay, so that's why you have everything there. Now, so what am I trying to say with that? I'm trying to say that everything that you put at the back of your mind to do, there are issues and people that would always come against at certain point in time, irrespective of whether they're your family members or friends and all that. What is largely key is, in spite of all of their attitude, their perception, in fact, if you have situations where they ridicule you, they won't tell you, they call you names, they tell you you can't do it, they tell you you can't achieve it, they tell you this is not doable and all that. There is what I think you used the word earlier on. Believe in yourself. Believe in what you can deliver. Believe in the fact that this is where you are graced. Believe in the fact that you are someone going somewhere to happen. You are not just an experiment of mommy and daddy meets and then they had you. You are here to become something. You are here to become something. So when all these issues of life come, and like I earlier mentioned, that character is built in you, take note of it and file it away. As I tell my children something, when I tell them something, I say, Daddy, no, this is not for this generation. I say, I don't mind, but hold it and put it on the shelf. When you realize that you need it, because you remember that you need it, pick it on the shelf and make use of it. And so that's what happens when we have all sort of people. I will not say run away from the family. No, I won't say that. And when I say run away, after all, they are paying your tuition, maybe, if you're a student. After all, if you're a student, they're paying your tuition. After all, you live in their house. So there is still the place of, you are still dependent on them. So you will actually grow to the level of independence before you can now say, okay, I know I can't do this. No, I'm not going to accept this. I'm not going to accept this way they treat me anyhow every day. I think I had one or two issues that someone said I stole something. Someone said I stole something in the house, and that thing, because I knew, I was taught integrity, I was taught to be, but someone said I was the one. And my dad looked at me and said, you did this. I said, I didn't do it. He said, but you said you did it. I mean, okay, I'll say it was my stepmom. My mom's, I mean, she said I was funny. And my dad said, yeah. So because, for those of you that are looking for a second wife, sorry, I pity you. Sorry.
I think this platform is for stories like that. We can share our experiences, how we're able to deal with that kind of situation.
Hannah, so now I've been told that I've been thief. I've been told that you have stolen my wristwatch. Apparently, this person went to the bathroom and left the wristwatch in the window in the bathroom. Okay, and then was looking for the wristwatch everywhere. And what else? I was the only boy at home at that time, so I was the only possible person that stolen it. And so my dad went on, and then my punishment was that I wasn't collecting my weekly allowance because I stole a wristwatch. That was the punishment that was mapped out for me right there at that minute. You have your weekly. I'm going to until the value for the wristwatch is complete. No weekly allowance. Okay, no problem. At least I will eat at home and all that. That's fine. Now, what happened? Just about 2 days after, the housekeeper was cleaning the house and saw the wristwatch on the window. And then, as we do, she took the wristwatch to the woman and gave the wristwatch to her. That I saw your wristwatch on the window, and she said, "Don't tell anybody."
Wow!
Now, I'm not telling you, Africa Magic.
I was even about to say that you were lucky that it was found and you have been located.
So now, I mean, the wristwatch was found. I wasn't meant to know.
Yeah.
I wasn't meant to know, that they found it. So because the housekeeper was not to tell me, and so they told the woman. So the woman kept the wristwatch, and then the lady, the housekeeper, now came to me and said, let me tell you something secretly. This and this and this happened. We have seen the wristwatch. I said, we have seen it. So because I've been told I will not collect my weekly allowance, that was a blow on me. So I was ready to pick it up. So I just went straight to my dad and I said, I'm told the wristwatch have been found, and there's no reason why this. And the man said, yes, they said it have been found, but they said you are the one that went to put it on the window because you are going to return it. Can you see the twist again? That is even your own father. So now, I lived life, and it was a punishment that has to. The punishment was like 1-2 days, right? It could have run for weeks. When in your own case, in anybody's case, I'm talking about everyone that's listening. Your own might run for weeks. You were punished unjustly. You could have been dealt with unjustly. If I imagine that you are only right-standing person in an office environment where everybody's corrupt, for example, and you are the only right-standing person, the only person saying no, and they begin to victimize you. Look, the day of recompense or reward is coming for everybody. So, irrespective of the fact that, you may not be able to do anything really about the situation at that point in time, but please learn character and do not blend. Don't blend. Don't blend. Don't blend. So, don't blend. You will learn character. Don't blend. Because tomorrow somebody is going to mention it that, we remember this person was the one that did not bend, that did not. And then there will always be a remembrance of those things that you have done right.
Yeah.
Things that have done right. So we get punished for things, and we get rounded. And you become better.
You become better for it. The most important thing is never ever bend in the midst of circumstance. Stand for what you believe in.
And do not let anything devalue you. Somebody was giving an example of a $100 note, the rumpled one and the neat one, and was saying which one has a higher value between the rumpled $100 note and the clean one. That which one has a higher value? And quite a few people said it was the clean one that has a higher value. That the rumpled ones, the value has already depreciated. And you ask a real question. You go to the market with that rumpled one, and I say I want to buy. Well, they tell you it wasn't money. Well, they tell you it's not. So the value of the rumpled $100 note and the value of the neat dollar note is same any day, anytime.
Okay. Can we look at it from this angle that, yeah, both of them have the same commercial value, but
Absolutely.
looking at it like if you place 100, a neat one on the table and the rumpled one, a lot of people will go for the neat one.
True.
And even when you talk about giving it out, maybe presenting it as a gift in an envelope, no one will want to place the rumpled one in an envelope. So what do we say about that?
That's what happens to us most of the time. That's what happens to us most of the time. Thinking that the thing is devalued. It's our perspective. Oh, what have I said? Oh, I will add this to that statement. Okay. Never be everything to everybody. You can't. Never be everything to everybody. Never try to be everything to everybody. The value of that rumpled may look untidy because it has seen issues of life, because it has been pushed and pushed by even close friends, by family, and turned and twisted and twisted. But that doesn't mean the value has been depreciated. Yes, man may look at it and say it is crushed. Man may look at it and say it is rumpled. Man may look at it and say it is squished. In fact, man may not want to present it to another man. Okay? But in spite of all that, the value in you has not changed. Your value has not diminished. Yes, you may put it on the table and you're putting them side by side and you're wondering, which one should I take? Which one should I pick? In fact, like I joke with some people, you do not need the God to direct you to take the neat one. Your hands will
automatically go for the neat one.
For the neat one. But that does not mean the value in the rumpled and the neat is different. No, it doesn't mean it's different. It doesn't mean it's different. So for everyone that had been battered, that have been pushed down, that have gone through life, that have been accused wrongly, that have been judged wrongly, I need you to understand that your value has not changed from who you actually originally are. Stay in your grace zone in spite of that, and don't bend the rules. Don't bend.
Never bend. Thank you so much for that inspiring moment. Yeah, your value has not changed. However deeply you have gone in life, however the challenges of life are dealt with you, always remember who you are, stand for who you are, and always tell yourself, my value has not changed, even though I'm going through this difficult time at this moment. Thank you so much. It's so inspiring. I want to
let me add this too. Let me just tell you can look for this book, Peaks and Valleys. There's a book. I'm trying to remember the author now. I've read it and it just crossed my mind now.
Peaks and Valleys.
Peaks and Valleys. Peaks and Valleys. Yes. Peaks and Valleys. Yes. Peaks. Peaks and Valleys. Valleys in life. Peaks and Valleys. Peaks and Valleys. There's a mountain time of life and there is a valley side of life.
Okay.
Just find out peaks and valleys. Yes.
I want to say thank you for everyone who has joined. Making Good and Bad Times Work for You. That's a book by Spencer Johnson.
Great. That's it.
So Peaks, he has recommended this book for every one of us. Peaks and Valleys by Spencer Johnson. That's making good of the bad times and the good times. Making good and bad times work for you. Whatever situation you are, you work, you try to make it work for you. Thank you so much for that recommendation. You may want to put it down. And anyone who has a comment, who has a perspective to what we are discussing here, can please put it down in the comment section. So I want to quickly acknowledge the presence of I am Olu Olabode. Yeah, thank you, Coach Olabode. Thank you for being here. Ronnie's Sugar Creep. Thank you, Ronnie's Sugar Creep, for being here. I'm sure a lot of people will want to check out that Ronnie's Sugar Creep. They make delicious, yummy cakes anywhere you want it delivered to you in Nigeria. Ronnie's Sugar Creep. I want to say thank you to Crystal Lens. Yeah, Crystal Lens. I think they do wonders with their cameras, taking pictures. Yomi Smith, 24. Thank you for joining. Caustic, yeah, thank you so much. It's Boma. Thank you so much. It's really a privilege to have every one of you here on this platform. Please put down your comments, put down your feedback, put back down your contribution to this conversation, and we'll be glad to address every one of it. Yeah, Alabade says the value doesn't change, even though one is rumpled. Yeah, yes, the value doesn't change. Okay, now, who has to go to your childhood, because there's a lot to be said about that, and I think we are running. Our time flies. Almost we are into 40, so 50 minutes already. Wow. Okay, let's quickly talk about leadership. Being a leadership coach, leadership coach. And now we see that a lot of people in the leadership position, they manipulate and exploit people.
Okay.
What do you have to say? What are the things that really entails true leadership, instead of this manipulation and exploitation that we see all about?
Okay, go over it again. Leaders.
Okay, now in the place of leadership, you see how people take advantage of their followers. Yeah, for every setting, when they are leaders, they are followers. Even in our subconscious mind, even when we do not all agree that this will be our leader, unconsciously we just say that somebody is leading. And for some people, they take advantage of that position to manipulate and exploit the people that are coming behind them or that are following them. So being a leadership coach, what would you say are the true duties, or what would you say that true leadership entails?
Wow. You are delving into some grounds that
so that every one of us and people listening in our own little space, in our own corners, will know how to treat our people, and we'll also come to you for advanced training in leadership.
Before you go and sack your leaders in the office, so to say, or sack your leaders in the... Okay. First, clear understanding that because you are in front doesn't make you a leader. Because you are in front doesn't make you a leader. Truthfully and clearly, leadership is by influence. It's by influence. It's a function of how many people that I'm able to influence. When you are influencing, people will gravitate towards you. So you will not coerce people to follow. There is a way by which you see people gravitating towards wherever direction you go. So what does that tell us? That tells us that leadership is service. Leadership is service. If I serve you, you will gravitate towards me. If I serve you, you will do things in line with the things I am advising you to do. So a lot of times, what we have found out is that a lot of people are in positional leadership and they did not emerge as leaders. They are positional leaders. That is, office appointed them as the team lead, as the work lead, by position and not by their action, not by their attitude, not by what they do. So leadership is not an ego game. Leadership means a lot of responsibility. Okay? So a lot of times people desire, I want to be a leader, but it's a lot of responsibility. So now, things that leaders or people in front have been doing that we have all seen a lot of times and wonder that this is not a leader includes that we are coerced to do things. But if I am your leader, I can motivate you to do things, even without a pay. Without a pay.
Be inspired to do it.
Exactly. Without a pay. Now, I'll say that as part of what I do, I'm sure quite some people, because okay, I'm the pastor of a church as well, and so I'm certain that quite a lot of them are on this call even now.
Yeah.
So they will bear me witness that I do not say do. I do what they are to do. So I take the action and they follow. I have years of volunteering experience, okay, as team lead in non-profit organization. Well, that is in the church for at least on the average right now, about 26 years.
Wow.
I have led teams successfully, and as such, I understand what it means to be an influence. I understand what it means to be an influence. So, influencing people, okay, whether we like it or not, we are already an influence, either for good or for bad. So, as the person in front of us right now, as our leader, whether a person is good or bad, the person is influencing us. How? If he's a bad leader, he's influencing us to be doing bad things too. He's influencing us on how to be behaving differently. In fact, he's influencing us to be disloyal. He's influencing us not to be flexible. He's influencing us not to be responsible. In fact, a lot of times we are influenced to be people that grumble all the time. So, if we have someone that is in front and is not leading in the way we would want it to be, my friends, what is clear is that you should understand what it means to lead, and that is what that's where I stand to teach.
So what are the things that are necessary to lead? What are those things that you should look out for to lead, to be a positive, influential person? Because now that we have the negative and the positive side, what are the things that we should look out to be positive leaders?
Okay. I mentioned earlier on that you must be ready to serve. Must be ready to serve. Are you ready to serve others? To serve others means to be able to. I had an occasion. I was in Lagos Business School. I was running a course there, and we went to the dining hall to have our lunch. And so the first person opened the door and was by the door for everybody to keep on going inside. And everybody kept on going, and everybody kept on going, and everybody kept on going. So when it was my turn and I got to the door, so I told him, "You have done enough. Now you go inside." So I said, I held the door as well for quite, a lot of people to go in. I'll shock you that 53 people went in and nobody said, "I want to."
Let me hold it. Wow.
So, service is key, and we are easily discouraged when we are trampled upon. But being a leader, you will keep on at it. You will keep on at it. You keep on at it. That is a major thing Because a lot of times they will tell you, look at the shape of your head. They will tell you, you did not do. You will hear also, but because you have taken a decision that I am going to serve these people, it becomes a major thing that's at the back of your mind and leads the way in most of the things you do. So if you get that right, then there are various
sorry for cutting you short there. Complete your thoughts, please.
There are various leadership traits, leadership personalities, leadership that we all do have, personalities and all that. I'm not going to miss words that we have different leadership styles and leadership rules. So, but every one of those leadership roles and personalities, the underlying factor is service. That's the underlying.
That's the word. So everyone who is in the leadership position, even in the family, in the friendship, in a setting at work, in government, religious setting, anywhere you find yourself and you're going for a leadership position, are you ready to serve? You are not going there for your own selfish interest. It is to serve people. So that's the basis of all leadership adventure. And when you have that mindset that I'm going here to serve, it's easier for you to deal with issues. It's easier for you to consider your followers, because you always remember, I'm here to serve these people. They are not here to serve me. It is easier for you to feel their pain. It's easier for you to know what they want at each moment, because the mindset, you're ready for it, that you are here to serve. Thank you so much for that. As many of our viewers who are listening to this now, always remember that service is the basis for leadership. Once you have that, every other thing fall in place. Thank you so much for that. Let's quickly go back to your childhood. You were talking about being woken up one morning by your mom, and she said your dad is going to become a king, and automatically a second wife is coming in, according to the African setting. And how was it? Can you walk us through that experience going home?
Wow. I'm sure you will spill over to part 2 of this series.
to have a party
at this rate. Because now imagine a 14-year-old boy in Form 3, a third year in secondary school, being told, this is a boy where you have 5 cars in your compound, chauffeur driven, have security agents, because he was at that time the boss of a higher institution. That's my dad. So you had all the facilities that made you feel like a big boy, act like a big boy, and behave like a big boy. Now, so one night your mom called you and told you all this bigness is no longer yours alone, belongs to, assuming you don't even know the value of this bank account. All those things you have access to, they are no longer yours alone. It now belongs to a life. So largely, it was a blow. It was a real blow. That what's this going to look like? But make matters actually worse. It was actually during the holidays to resume Form 3 in September. So the calendar in Nigeria is the new session starts in September. So we're on the holiday. We started from July thereabout, and then so we're in that holiday period. So now all through that period, there has to be a learning curve on how to restrain yourself from a father that you hear the horn, you rush downstairs, you go and meet him and jump on him and laugh over things. You now begin to how do you behave? How do you behave? That you sleep on the carpet in the living room and roll over the carpet with a lot of play and jokes. We had our times of particular TV programs that we sit down and watch together, those kind of soap operas that you see that this was going to come to an end, as the case may be. You know, all those things. So all those things ran through the mind. But I tell you, between July and September, I became matured. And that's, first of all, that set in me was, I'm going to detach myself from this man. I mean, I was a bit, you know, anger.
No.
I'm going to detach myself from this man. This is wicked.
Let me ask you, do you have older ones?
Oh, yes. I have one older brother and I have 2 immediate sisters. So, and so now, and so because of what attitude that I began to display, I was sent to the boarding house because I withdrew from him.
Were you the only one who was kind of rebellious this way, or everyone?
Okay, my older brother was in the uni already.
Okay.
My middle older brother. So for him, he's not bothered. He's going, after all, he's going to campus. So I was going to be the eldest at home. At that point in time, and my younger sisters, they didn't understand what was going on. But me, it dawned on me that this was an issue. So I was taking my mom's side. I was taking everybody's side. This is wicked, man. This is not dumb. This is not acceptable and all that. But you know, maturity came in, and that was really what it means to be a child who has all these things, but looking like became a street boy. Looking like became a street boy. And what does that mean? All I knew he owed me was tuition. Every other thing, I was going to look for it by myself. And then, so that led to real looking for every legal means to fend for myself.
Even when you were still in secondary school?
Yes, even while in secondary school. I told my children these stories, and I said, and so they also woke up with that kind of, oh, so that is possible to be able to do something financially gain while in secondary school. Yes, I told them all sort of things I was doing. Oh, I was one kind of a boy that would do Valentine cards and sell. I would write love stories for people. I would, you know, all those kind of things.
When you were doing all this kind of, because now I see that you are even more of a creative person like that. So what led you into electrical engineering?
I think it actually was born out of my being multi-talented. Yeah, so because even growing up, at age 9, I was dismantling a petrol generator to service and change the plug. I was scatter things. My dad buys me a wristwatch. He bought me a wristwatch when I was 10, a Casio wristwatch at 10. And definitely, I must see what is inside. I opened it up and checked everything inside. And then, well, I scattered it, and assembled it back, and I gave it back to him. So, you know, so I was... So if you have boys that scatter things and cannot repair them back, please repair them. Very easy, sir. I went on like that. I mean, TV wouldn't work. I opened it up. I checked what's inside. The gas cooker won't work in the house. Electric gas cooker won't work. I disconnect. I look for the wire. I trace it. I do all those things between while I was still 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I was sure. I mean, I want to watch a program on TV and the generator is not starting. It must start because I am at home. Even at that time. So I got to open it up and check what and dismantle and make sure it works. I look back and I remember I started driving about 13, 14. So because I was taught. So
yeah.
So this kind of, because I started practicing with it. I started, you know, so very inquisitive, intuitive, and had a creative mind. So from that growing up, they were calling me chief engineer. Okay, even at that. So I wanted to go into information technology precisely, but I thought computer science was not a chin course. It wasn't any course.
It wasn't that deep.
It wasn't that deep. So, so I wasn't going to do computer science. Computer science looked to me as okay. And then I said, okay, when I do my engineering, I will specialize in information technology, which was really what I did. My older brother studied electronic engineering, and he studied electrical engineering as well. So he really encouraged me when I told him I was going to study electronic engineering. So we started the same course. He finished before I entered the university anyway. So, but because of my being one person that started to fend for myself in coach, I did not go to the university immediately after leaving secondary school.
Okay.
I thought it was wise for me to look for money and sponsor myself, which really was what happened. So at 17, 18, I finished school at 17, secondary school at 17. Between then and I started to look for work to do. I became site supervisor for construction site, family and friends. I became this and then I was earning money and I was putting together. And then so I did that for a space of 3-4 years before I entered. Before I now entered the university. Yeah,
so when you were doing all this, there was no kind of concern from home there. Why?
Oh, there was this concern from my mom, but my dad at that time, it was divided. It was divided. And that's one of the issues that happen when you, which are really, apart from being religious or being religious, I tell people who are the disruption we have in the world today is a function of the home front. People have been disorientated from the home front. People have become marginalized in their home front. People have been thrown into the streets in the home front. And that's why we have the issues that we have in the world today. Now imagine a 14-year-old boy that was disoriented at that age, and he goes into the streets and he can turn either way. So I'm grateful that I turned this way, okay? But I could have turned the other way. And that has happened to quite a lot of people. Somebody may say, oh, but nobody sent you out of home. True. But the reality was I was upset with the way things were. I didn't see, I thought it was a cheat. The man was cheat because he's having another woman. I thought it was a slap on my mother's face who had suffered with you. I thought it was, I helped her to, as a young boy.
You're fighting a battle for her.
Kind of a thing. So, but, in spite of all this, he was sending the tuition for all you care. He paid the tuition. But the extras that you normally will have, the relationship, the bonding time that you normally will have, we didn't get to have it. I remember so many bonding times of having to take a trip from Ibadan in Oyo State to Ilorin, that is Kwara State in Nigeria. And all through the journey through Oyo, Fiditi, Ogbomoso, that area, we will be catching fun. Mommy will drive another car with the girls, daddy will drive another car with the boys, and then we'll just, speed, race, and just park at certain places and eat, and then make the journey. It was fun. Now, missing that fun, that kind of a fun, was a blow.
You know what? The way you talk about it now still seems like you missed that moment so much.
Oh, I created it.
I hope you can.
I now recreated it. I don't know if forgiven, but I recreated it in my children. I recreated it in people that come around me. I recreated it in everybody I come in contact with. So it makes you look like they are mine. Everyone I come in contact with. And that's why, I'm able to comfortably say the pattern and the style of leadership that I run, that I train, it's something that I've experienced. I'm speaking from my experience. So, I mean, and so it goes a long way to, so everyone that comes in contact with me, it's because I have seen deprivation in certain area. I do not want them to be deprived in such areas.
Yeah.
So I give attention, special attention. And so that makes it go along to connect with people, call them by their names, address them by their names, address them by certain things, because I want to serve them.
Yeah. Okay.
And from that, I am able to influence them.
Exactly. Yeah.
And from that, I've become their leader.
Yeah. It's not that it's placed on them whether they like it or not. Yeah.
No.
So one thing that I got here now is that you cannot be you would not understand the true meaning of deprivation if you have not gone through it. Like, you would not understand how it feels to be hungry if you are always full. It will just be like, it's something you can't just imagine. So that's why when you've not been in some people's shoes, when you've not heard their stories, you don't need to judge. Even when you've heard their stories, you do not need to judge them, because everyone cannot be the same. I want to say thank you, everyone who is still on this show, on this conversation with us. We're coming to the end very soon. And before we come to the end, I want to quickly ask this. It seems to be the last question. What would you think that experience have helped you to do now? Is there something on the negative that it contributed to you? And on the positive, what would you say it helped you to achieve? That experience of growing up fast.
Okay. Initially, I'll tell you what, it was a bit difficult to go past that barrier to relate with my dad in a great way. When eventually he was crowned king, and we had to go for the ceremony and all that. Now, he was pronounced that he will be king when I was 14, but he did not get to the throne until I was 25.
What happened? That's another story.
Yeah. So that's a legal tussle started right from there. And the case was in court.
Wow.
And they went back and forth. So now by the time I was 25, I was done in the university. Okay, so I had matured more in relationship, and for many of the people that know me, I have become, I have changed my way of life to be someone that believes that, look, vengeance is not mine.
Yeah.
So now from that, we started to build a relationship back. Okay, so we started to relate. There were no mobile phones, so it still required a trip to visit and hello and all that. So that went on. So the negative part was that it was difficult to go past that barrier at the initial stage. And as a matter of fact, for the woman who was the second wife, it was more difficult to go past the stage of having to relate, because you caused the deprivation.
Because the deprivation.
Yeah, you caused the deprivation. But for all you know, we are cool now. Though my dad is late, he's gone, but with a woman, with his wife, with my stepmother, we are cool. We live right now. But that could linger on for long.
Definitely.
But put it at the back of your mind that you really are not going to be the one that will avenge yourself. For in the middle of it, of all this, I've had them reach out to me for financial assistance, and I could have said no. You were wicked enough for me at that time. But life has changed now. that leads me to the statement I normally make. I said, why do I treat people so well? And the singular reason is everybody's pregnant with a future. There's nobody that is a waste and a mistake. So I learned to now treat everyone well. Everyone well.
From that experience.
From that experience. I learned to treat everyone well. It doesn't matter who. It doesn't matter how rumpled the person looks now. The person's value has not diminished. So I treat everybody well. Because the person has a future. The person is loaded in a certain area. The person has something embedded in him or her. And so it only requires fanning it, and then we'll see it begin to blossom. So negative, yes, in certain area, positive, largely in many areas. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much for that beautiful that's that beautiful one. So now I want to say let's round it off. Yeah, thank you, Roti, for joining. We'll have another time when we talk about this personal experiences more, because there's so much to still be said. All right. So before we round it off, I want you to give us your let me say pattern words. If you were to say something to someone who has gone through your own kind of experience, or you want to say something to the younger people out there, what would your advice be to them?
Wow. Okay. Every stage of your life, whatever experience that you have gone through, learn to absorb these things and let it build character in you. And I use the word character carefully. Character simply means self-discipline, self-control. Self-control on how you get angry, self-control on how you behave to others, self-control on how you treat people, value people, make them the people that because at the end of the day, people are the same ones that will build you up. So learn to value people, irrespective of whatever has happened. Mind your way of life in spite of all that. Anyway, for people that could have turned the other way around, like I could have turned the other way around, be positive. Be positive. Be positive. Learn from a story, or that you can actually turn out great in life. People conclude that your father's wealth made you Adedamola, and say
only if they knew.
It's only the number of the people you are seeing, but truthfully is a function of knowing the principles of life, and that's applied. It's made us the people we are today. There's nothing. The principles are principles. Whether you are a pagan, you are a Christian, you are a Muslim, you are anything. You throw anything up, it comes down. That's gravity. It's a principle. Every object remains in a state of motion or state of rest, except you apply a force to it. If it's at a state of rest, if you don't push it, it remains there. If it is moving, if you apply a stop, it stops. It's a principle. Okay?
Yeah.
That's life itself. Okay? So please, let me just leave that.
We'll have another session. I want to quickly read through the comments that people have made. Okay. The value doesn't change. Yeah. The power of perspective. Yes. The way you say things really matter. The commentator motivates. Thank you, Bolaji. Bolaji says the commentator motivates. Yes, it does. Yeah. Okay, I'm trying to see the other messages. Stand for what you believe in. That's Esther. Miss Esther, thank you for joining this. Okay. Wrong accusation is disastrous, very, very disastrous. That was said by Bolaji. Esther said, never be everything to everybody. That is one thing that I so much value in this conversation. Not all that glitters is gold, exactly. Yeah. And leadership is by influence, yes. Whether you want to make it positive or negative, it is your choice. But you know that it is by influence. And it's the basis of all leadership true leadership is service, as you have mentioned earlier. Thank you so much for this inspiring and motivating conversation, like our viewers have said. Some people just joined. Ruti, thank you for joining. Akayo, maybe I'm not pronouncing it well. AKAYOA. Thank you for joining this session as well. We appreciate everyone who has made it to be here today, finding out time to be here. It's the 6th edition of Between You and Me, and we've really gone past the time. I want to say thank you to our special guest today, Adedamola Olubummo, for this inspiring moment. We do not take it for granted, and we hope that when we call you again, because you still have a lot to say, especially talking about the coaching and leadership aspect. Now, can you talk to us, people that will be viewing this later on, like if we want to come to you, what is it exactly that you do? I know you leadership and personal development. How can people reach you?
Okay. First, you can drop my website, adedamolaolubummo.com. It's you can reach me on adedamolaolubummo.com. I help people leaders to emerge in their potentials and to live right in that potential, both professionals and non-professionals. I help them to discover and to live in their potentials as leaders. I run through coaching, and that's, if you go to the website, you can place a call to me, and we have a time of conversation for you to get into details. I have a framework by which every story that I've said so far, I've built it into a framework of just 4 steps. That's this same process that I've run in this discussion. I've built into a framework of you being able to discover yourself, begin to strategize, and begin to execute. And then you now evaluate what you have done. And that's what the strategize, execute, and evaluate.
That's
yes. So that's the framework I have developed for that same process. So it's just a seamless process that runs for 6 weeks on a one-on-one basis for anyone that signs up for it. But just look at the website, you will see it's a straightforward approach to getting
you. So just go to the website adedamola.com. Olubummo.com. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so our viewers, again, thank you. And you can always reach me on my Instagram and Tolulokpe Ibitola, and on Facebook, Tolulokpe Ibitola. You can send me an email, tolulokpeibitola21@gmail.com. You can send me direct messages, and I'll be glad to respond to those messages. Like I said, the mission for this conversation is to inspire lives, to let people know that they can be superheroes, they can be that Superman, they can be that Superwoman in their own lives, just by listening to people who have gone through that situation before, who have gone through. They say that experience is the best teacher. It doesn't have to be your own experience. It can be from other people's experiences. Thank you so much again. My name is Tolulokpe Ibitola. Till I come your way again, The next edition will be coming up in 2 weeks' time, and we'll let you know, give you details if it's going to happen here on Instagram or it's going to be on Facebook. The details will be out. Thank you again, Coach Adedamola. It's a privilege to have you here, and thank you everyone who are still this time for us. Thank you for those. Thank you to those who will be watching later as well. Crystal Lens, I say you bye for now. Thank you. Time to end the session. Mm, yeah.